I was in Israel, seminary, kind of like could go rabbi or could go like just devout. I mean, and then came back to America, went to Yeshiva University, owners of the longest all-time baseball playoff consecutive losses record. It was just snapped, I think at 107. Jews love baseball, but they cannot put motion on a ball. Yeah, and then I got back. I was in Yeshiva University, and I just kind of lost my faith. I was just like, thought about it. I was like, I don't think I believe in God. And then I struggled with it for a while because it's like, you know, the whole life. I mean, it must have been like, not the same, but like, what if you wake up one day, you're like, I think I'm a communist. Right. Then you're like, I can't be here, you know? You're like, I better like either start planting some stuff.
So what was happening though? Was your upbringing and patterns so rigid that you weren't doing a lot of questioning before that?
Yeah, you're just doing it without thinking about it. You don't really have a chance to look into it. Like my friends asked me, like, was it repressive not being able to eat cheeseburgers because cheese and meat together? And I was like, we never even had it as a possibility. It was like, I don't feel like I'm being held down because I can't fly. I didn't even think about it. We had our own groups. It was fine. On Saturdays and Friday nights, you couldn't use TV. So couldn't see Dukes of Hazzard until it came on reruns. Yeah, you just didn't think twice about it. But then when I looked inward, I was like, oh, and then it opened up like, well, it was like a struggle for like 4, 5, 6 months of like, what does this mean to me? And then how do I tell these people in my life that I'm not this anymore? Between the ones that are super religious still and the ones that are not, that are going to be like, I knew it. Come on, I wish I didn't want that either. It was just like an internal struggle. Talked to a couple friends and they were like trying to like get me back, and I was like, I'm open to it. Talk me into it. But then it just wasn't inside me. I don't know what your faith in God is, but it just wasn't in there.
I mean, I was raised Catholic, but
Yeah.
Orthodox Jew is it's a different. Like when you are that determined, devoted, rigid. I guess keeping life small, right? Like you're with just your people all the time. Like I don't know that there's much like it. Like Catholicism has its rigidities, but it's not quite this.
No, it's not that. It's just like, right, go to church. But it's not like, watch what you eat outside of Lent. Yeah, you have to wait 6 hours after meat before you can have pizza.
But this seems particularly ill-suited to just the things that you are in terms of rambunctious and free, and doesn't mean you're not disciplined in many ways.
Yeah.
Your work ethic shows everywhere.
Except for the being on time today. Email sitting in my thing, just going, obviously, here's your schedule. I should open it.
You've been lamenting your lateness here.
Dude,
by
I'm sorry.
minutes today.
I apologize. I really am feeling bad about it. They call me like, are you almost there? I'm like, where? I mean, thank God it was an 8-minute walk.
So this is you emerging. This is you emerging for a morning in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Haven't even my mata yet. Yeah, I think I'm probably rebelling, to be honest, or making up for lost time. I was like, I started doing way more drugs than a normal 35, 40-year-old would do. Fun drugs, you know, but obviously I was making up for lost time, fucking way more than I, should have. Not that it was bad, but it was just like, haven't you worked through this yet? No, I'm just getting started. This is really fun.
Yeah, you're still a child in many ways, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You've just not used any of these muscles.
Yeah. And then you get into the comedy world, and the comedy store is such a melting pot of these different backgrounds. You had like people like me, and then people who grew up with like prison life, and then like abusive households, and then like a loving family man, and then like we're all just together, putting all that stuff behind me. Good friends with a Palestinian, as I lived in Israel for years, and we're like, yeah, everybody's an unlikely friend, and we all just loved comedy,
How did your upbringing not become a special until this late in life, given how unusual an upbringing it is?
Dude, you should do a podcast. You got questions. I couldn't handle it. I didn't know how to do it right. I tried in the beginning. Everything came off hateful. So I had to work out my own shit first. Kind of like Los Angeles, actually. I lived here for 12 years. Lived right next to Pink Dot down the street. So I could walk to the Comedy Store, because I wasn't allowed to park there because I wasn't like a regular yet. And when I left, I started seeing how shitty LA was, the parts that were shitty, how everyone's focused on money over art. You know, you ask somebody how a movie was, and here they tell you the box office. It's like, what? You guys are supposed to be acting and directing, and you're talking about money first, always.
You have a real disdain for acting.
I hate them. They're the worst people in the world. They're so self-absorbed, and they think that you can't see through it. They think they're not being phony. They go, I still talk to normal people. And we're like, normal people don't say normal people. They just say people. What the fuck are you talking about? That was your brag? Ugh. Oh, god damn. If you show up with a beat-up Toyota, like, ew. Like, what the fuck? It's a reliable car. Yeah, I do.
Is that why you got out of acting? Did you get away from acting?
I hated the people, and it would get in the way of stand-up sometimes. I book commercials, like, I'm like, shit, well, I got a gig. And then when people start coming to see me and not just like a gig I was on, then I'm like, I can't let people down for a callback for something. And then also I did a movie that I was really embarrassed about with Gad, that super hot chick. What's her name? The Israeli one.
You should know.
I hate them all, dude.
You did the movie
I hate them
with
all.
her. I don't know even what you're talking about.
It was the guy from Mad Men, the main dude from Mad Men.
You're gonna.
Ham,
I don't know the movie.
John Hamm, Keeping Up with the Joneses was what it was called, and it was like a spy movie. That super hot Israeli model chick and Galifianakis. And I read the script and I'm like, this seems bad, but Galifianakis and John Hamm, I guess it'll be. And then I got there, I'm like, no, this blows. And then I was embarrassed to be a part of it. And everyone's like, wow, cool. It's Zach Galifianakis. I'm like, it's not cool. He knew it was sucky. They all knew. This blew. What are we doing? What? Yeah. Why are we making something just got greenlit? And then stand-up is just me and a mic, so it's like, it's so free.
I mean, it's just you and your talent. That's it's vulnerable. It's brave. It's something that I actually admire that people choose it. But it seems like a reckless choice. Like it seems like a really hard thing to do successfully.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to throw out sports quotes while a fucking nerd is telling you at the end of a show, like, this is what you got wrong.
Yeah, comedians are always good about saying it's not quite as brave as you think it is because
it's brave because you bombed a lot and it sucked. But also, like, I saw my friends moving into their adult lives, and I was like, I want to put that on hold as long as possible. So it really was like, let's stay at this festival a little longer before we go back to work on Monday. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just a hard leap. Of like, okay, almost got a job designing the website for Discovery Channel. I would have stayed in DC area if I got that job because it was like somewhat creative and not done this. But then I didn't, so I was like, yeah, I'm out.
So when you're in take me back to your life in Israel.
Too much. So it was losing my religion, coming to this, starting to talk about it, but I was like, I have too much hatred. And then I had to eventually get over that hatred. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Same as LA. I love LA now. I miss the stuff that I miss about it. Being broke here is a great place to be broke. Those times in my life, it was just anything was possible. Going up on hikes, going to Runyon Canyon, seeing women that you didn't even know could exist outside of a magazine, just casually hiking. The beaches, the burrito, everything was just so fun. Get into ecstasy. It was just like, this is a wild party. And I miss those times. And I'll see people this week and have those times. So the same thing with like the religion. I eventually got back to a place where I'm like, no, this actually was really helpful to my life. Gave me structure. I don't think about it now. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, if you're Catholic, you're probably the same way. If you go into a supermarket and you see a 60-year-old woman behind you, you just naturally, after you, ma'am. You don't say ma'am, but you just do it. You're not thinking this is what I should do. It's just, right? You just do it.
Well, so what was your plan? You didn't have a plan?
Here?
Well, just 6 months you decide I don't believe in God anymore. So what I've been doing for a long time is wasting my time.
So I switched to University of Maryland. There's no reason to go to a split curriculum, religious and math, English stuff. Why waste that money? Became a Terp, and then became a practice player for the University of Maryland women's babasketball team.
Oh, did you? Got your ass kicked.
Yeah, dude. Those bitches.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, my God. And they use them to, like, cut at you.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Paige Buchers, we share that in common. Practice players.
You're just you're a guinea pig. That's all. The guys who think they're going to beat the women at college basketball.
Yeah, you go light on them right away because it's a girl, and then they elbow check you to the neck, and you're like, oh, okay. And then we'd start playing hard,
and then you'd start losing.
Yeah, we would go hard though. We would like push them and stuff. They were better than me. I figured it out that where I would have been first off the bench.
Really?
Yeah.
You would have been able to play women's basketball first off the bench, a good sixth
woman. Not now. No, we're talking about 21 years old.
You feel like you would have been a good sixth woman.
The women all said it. We all had these discussions. They were like, you're definitely not a starter. Yeah, you're probably first off the bench. And then the girl, Michelle, that was first off the bench, she goes, yeah, you'd probably get it right before me. I begged Coach Weller to put me in one time. I had long hair. I'm like, buddy, I'll paint my nails.
What was Maryland? Was Maryland a 500 team? Was Maryland one of the good ones back then?
The women's team then was like right around last of ranked or first of honorable mention in the AP.
Okay.
So we had a good team. ACC also was a dominant, but we lived in the shadow of the men. But yeah, they would yell at me too if I missed layups. I'm like, gotta win the fucking game, man. Yeah. What the fuck you doing? I'm like, I missed. I wasn't fucking around.